just been 5, and we'll take another few seconds for people to join in. And in the meantime, just want to set some context here of what we are going to talk, how this session is going to go. So today in this session, as we said, we're going to talk about fad diets, which include very, very popular diets that people get into, like intermittent fasting, keto,
Yes.
and such. Before that, guys, whoever is watching, please make sure that you don't pick up stuff and implement immediately. All the diets that we speak
Yes.
about, we'll be talking about the benefits and the negatives, and ultimately we'll be concluding with what would work best. So it'll be very helpful if you can listen till the end to get the whole crux of this conversation. We will be explaining how, the symptoms of PCOS work, with which diet well and which not. So important is that not the small piece of it, but the whole conversation needs to be understood before you take any decisions and get with it. Uh,
Yes.
so today we have Hanisi. She's a clinical nutritionist. She's a child nutrition expert. She's also doing a prenatal and a postnatal course. She's a PCOS expert herself. She has a clinic in Mumbai. So Hanisi, do you want to tell something which I've missed? A quick intro about yourself?
Okay, I think you've covered everything. Thank you so much, Nidhi, for this introduction. And it was really great to we have been at this platform with you today to discuss my most favorite topic. So yes, I'm awaiting and talking about Nidhi. She is being the first one to introduce PCOS online community in India. That's the first community that she's introduced. So congratulations, Nidhi. And that's really, really, really great, which we all need to create awareness, which is very important. She is a PCOS educator, and yes, I think she's aspiring holistic nutrition as well, which is really good. And we both almost come from the same background, which we believe that PCOS could be treated naturally, and definitely it can be treated naturally. You really do not have to go on any pills or any contraceptives or any medicines for the same. So yes, today we are here in today to discuss about the same topic and bust some of the very common myths which people have about fat diets and how people are implementing these wrong diets to lose weight in PCOS. So this is all that we're going to be talking about. So yes, Nidhi, over to you.
Okay, great. Thanks for the introduction. And also, we're going to take some questions around 5:15 and 5:30. So
Yes.
please keep the questions going, and I'm going to take that. So
Yes.
before we jump right into the diets, let's just quickly discuss what are the various symptoms and some causes for PCOS, so that we can connect the benefits of those diets, right? So
Yes.
what I can understand very quickly, and probably Hanisi, you can join me in. So
Yes.
the most common is the insulin resistance,
Yes.
which can be a cause and a symptom. It's
A
kind of
symptom
tricky.
of, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, yes. So
And
yeah,
hmm.
so basically coming over to PCOS, it's really important for us to understand before starting what exactly is PCOS, right? So PCOS is a very much of a burning issue which almost every woman, every girl, every adolescent, teenager is going through, right? So it's important for us to understand that PCOS is a polycystic ovarian syndrome which results in the formation of small cysts basically in the lining of your ovary, and your ovary fails to function and give eggs in a normal way. So it uses a very abnormal way of producing eggs, which is very irregular, which is not very regular, which is not in a perfect way. Hence, it leads to PCOS, right? So we have to understand this problem, that it is a hormonal and it is a lifestyle disorder, guys. It is not something that is just coming out of the blue, out of nowhere, because you are what you eat. So anything that is going on in your body which is not happening according to the accordance of the body, hence it leads to a lot of very hormonal imbalances or a lifestyle imbalances, which leads to PCOS. Yeah. So Nidhi, could you just put light on some causes and some like just some symptoms of PCOS before we move
Yeah,
on?
so
Yeah.
what we generally understand as PCOS, as per the clinical definition by the Rotterdam criteria, which I've also explained on my channel, is that apart from the cysts, you have hirsutism, you have facial
Yes,
hair, you have
definitely.
irregular menses, could be heavy bleeding, or it could be scanty periods. It really depends. And you don't necessarily need to have like cysts to have periods, right? So
Yeah,
that's there. But there are other symptoms as well that you have, like irritability, anger issues, lower abdomen pains, painful periods, and so on and so forth. We all know about it, right?
yeah,
Apart from that, like the other things that are not known widely are usually a gynecologist will ask you to get a sonography, but very little of us know that there could be nutritional deficiencies, which we
exactly.
might ignore.
Yes, very
There
true,
could
very
be
true. Yeah,
there could be inflammation, which is tested by a CRP test or a ESR, which normally we do not understand as a layman language, which could be something that is triggering inflammation. That means your body does not accept that. And
yeah,
usual things that we eat every day, like a bread or a wheat roti or a dairy, can cause
yeah,
inflammation. So these
exactly.
small little things are very important before we understand that what a diet could do for you.
Exactly. And even coming to causes, there are lots of causes which lead to PCOS. So now when we talk about PCOS, it's generally your hormonal imbalances where your male hormone like androgen work really, really fast, which are not supposed to be working that fast in a woman's body, right? So when we talk about the causes, the excess level of insulin is also resulting like, insulin resistance, the genetic cause, the genetic
Yeah.
cause, the inflammation, all these are resulting in excess of androgen level, which is also forming a very important cause of PCOS right now. Even when it comes to lifestyle issues like healthy eating, whether or not are you exercising, whether or not are you eating the right food, or are you just eating the crappy oily food. So this is how you form a lifestyle cause when it comes to PCOS. So in case if you're not eating right, if you are not living a good lifestyle, automatically it does affect the functioning of your body. That is also one of the cause of PCOS. Even some of the environmental factors, which I'm sure maybe you would agree to it, the pollutants outside and around us. Like
Yeah.
we are staying in a country wherein there's constant global warming that is happening a lot, right? Because of this, there are
Yeah.
several pollutants that are developed around us. That even could be, for example, the plastic bottle that we drink the water from. Even those have
Yeah.
several compounds, which definitely cause a hormonal imbalance. It could be your dairy, it could be your gluten. So these are the factors also with the environmental pollutants, which could be the very important cause of PCOS. As Nidhi rightly said,
Understood. Understood.
there are symptoms like hirsutism, where you have a lot of growth of hair on your entire body, where you have a lot of acne on your skin. There's an oily skin which generally develops. You even feel very lethargic. You're always low on your energy, which is also one of the symptom. And of course, thinning of hair and hair fall is also one of the
Yeah.
symptom. Why? Because your hormones are not balanced. When your hormones are
Yeah.
not balanced, automatically it does affect all the system that is running throughout your body. Automatically there are irregular periods, which is also one of the very important signs and symptoms. How you recognize you have PCOS? That's when a lady
Yeah.
goes to a gynec and just does a sonography. Yeah, so this
So
is all.
all in all, sorry to cut you, all in all, what we're trying to say, it's more of a lifestyle rather than a diet alone. So when we understand the
Yes,
benefits of every diet, we must include that there is a lifestyle aspect of PCOS healing. It's not just a diet. So diet is just one element of your natural healing
yes,
process, right?
yes, yes,
So
yes.
coming to various diets we're talking about, which is the first one, Hanisi, you want to take up and start talking?
Okay, so coming to fad diets, when we say fad, the word itself says wrong diets, right? The word itself says that they are just a very temporary basis, because as I said, PCOS, one of the symptoms is also weight gain, right? Because it even happens because of extra fat in your body, wherein your hormones don't produce naturally or normally, right? So even that could be the reason wherein we are saying that fat diets are basically meant to give a very temporary solution to weight loss, guys. These are not going to give you a very permanent lifestyle change, which Nidhi just focused on. We are looking on the lifestyle, which is also a very important factor. So this is not a very lifestyle thing which is going to form your lifestyle. It's just going to give you a very temporary barrier to lose weight. That's about about 10 to 20 kgs in 2 months, which is really very bad. But are we even noticing that it is reducing the extra nutrient loss from your body? So for this, we are going to be starting with several diets, which we are going to be explaining you how these diets work and for whom and how it's meant, right? So coming in first with the keto diets. Now keto, we all know, or everyone's getting super attracted to keto because it gives you very rapid weight loss. Now when we say to keto, it follows a proportion of 80-20-10. 80% is like extreme of fats in your diet. 20% is like only 20% comes from the protein and only 10% comes from the carbs, right? So when we follow such type of a routine, it's not possible for any human to be on this diet for the rest of your life, because we are not just going to be on eating fats all the time, right? Definitely it has very much repercussions. It has good benefits, which is giving you a good rapid weight loss, a good energy levels, which keto does improvise on your energy levels, right? So we have to understand that when it comes to keto, extreme high fat is causing a tremendous amount of lipid abnormality in the body, right? Which is a general person, everyone who's following a keto diet has to make sure that your lipid levels are normal, which doesn't generally happen on keto because you are always on a high fat diet. So we have to understand that these diets are not going to be working for a very long basis, but these are just going to give you a very quick temporary solutions which are going to help you lose weight. But such diets for PCOS is not at all recommended, right? Every diet falls for a particular person who has to do it, not for a person or not for a girl who is suffering from PCOS. Because PCOS demands lots of nutrients in your body. It does not just demand on one fat. There has to be a proper all-rounded balance of nutrients and not just keto diet. Yeah, Nidhi, would you like to add?
Let's not forget. Sorry, just to add on what you said, let's not forget that the lipids are very less tested in us PCOS patients. Like I've been through PCOS, and what I also recommend is that always get your lipids checked, because the abdominal fat that you get, the internal fat, that could be because of the bad cholesterol. You might have low, good cholesterol and high bad cholesterol. That's also one thing. And if you start taking all the fat based, like lots of cheese and lots of fat based products, I mean, what about the inflammation in PCOS and how that works?
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. So when it comes to your inflammation factor, there is certain type of inflammation also in PCOS. So when you follow such high fat diets, your inflammation has never been taken care of, which is what we have to take care of when it comes to PCOS, right? So Nidhi, would you like to add something more about keto before we move on to the second type of a fad?
I mean, concluding on keto is what I would say, that it doesn't really restrict you on your, all it says is that this much, it's more about fat portion that you need to take, the nutrients and the nutritional deficiencies that you might have, it might not address that. So the fat that you would lose, ultimately the weight that you would lose would be an unhealthy way, and high chances that you go back to your normal diet and eat cheap because it's not sustainable.
Yes. So these diets generally are not going to keep your weight stagnant. So when, for example, when we are just only on fat or only on protein or only on one particular element or one particular nutrient, this is not going to keep your weight balanced, because how long are you going to stay on such diets? So when you stay on such diets and when you automatically start with some other nutrient, you're going to be experiencing a yo-yo effect wherein all the weight that you've lost comes back to normal, right?
Yeah.
So this is what Nidhi was telling. Yeah.
Thanks, Anisi. Here I would just take a look at the quick questions we are getting. Some of them are asking about intermittent fasting. We are going to just talk about it next. A lot of people are asking, what do you need to eat, and a layman language. So just bear with us. We are going through the session and we are going to conclude what to eat. So we are covering different diets. So stay tuned. A lot of questions are generic PCOS basis about how to control your testosterone and stuff. So probably this is something as part of our conclusion. So just stay put for another 10-15 minutes. We're going to share those answers and I'll take up those. Okay, going back to what we were speaking, right? Let's talk about intermittent fasting, which is the most famous one. And I'm going to give a quick introduction and some context of what it is, and probably you can add on and give your two pieces. So there has been a lot of research on the fasting aspect, on how it helps with your metabolic symptoms. Now, PCOS is one of the metabolic syndrome, right? And the main
Yes,
cause
yes.
that we discussed is the insulin resistance part, where fasting has shown to control your insulin. I mean, it is your body becomes more insulin sensitive when you start fasting. Now, that's the
Exactly.
research on the fasting bit. When we come and talk about intermittent fasting, there is always a asterisk, because what Google says, if you Google intermittent fasting, all you see is 16 is to 8. That means 16
Yeah.
hours of fasting with 8 hours of eating period.
Eating, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the whole context of intermittent fasting. Somebody didn't know, and I told you what the research says. It says about fasting and not intermittent fasting. So probably, Hanisi, if you can get some, give some context, and I'm going to probably add later. So
Yes.
over to you.
So, thank you, Nidhi, for this quick review on what intermittent fasting is. Where 16 hours you need to fast, and only at the 8 hours of your time interval you need to eat. All right. So now, when we talk about intermittent fasting is definitely good in curing certain diseases. But for PCOS, preferably I wouldn't 100% recommend the intermittent fasting. When it comes to intermittent fasting, firstly we have to understand the right way of doing the intermittent fasting, which I hope Nidhi also agrees to it, right? So when it comes to intermittent fasting, there are people who really do not know how to do an intermittent fasting. When they get that good hour of just staying eating, they will gobble up everything and anything that's around us,
Yeah.
right? So that does not say intermittent fasting, guys. When we have that fasting period, you need to eat healthy, you need to have a
Yeah.
balanced meal. Only then you can be on an intermittent fasting. If you think that you're just going to be eating all crappy foods and then going to fast and I'm going to lose weight, okay, it's fine, I'm as it is going to be fasting, right? I'll be using weight. That's now not how it works. So when you are fasting, automatically there are lots of sugars that are developed in your body, which are increasing your sugar levels. As Nidhi said, research says it does increase your sugar levels. So next morning, when you cut off your fasting and when you start eating, automatically you're going to be extremely hungry, because someone like me, Nidhi, if I'm following a balanced diet, eating too early, it's going to be super impossible for me to follow an intermittent fasting. Why? Because when a person is eating at the next hour of intermittent fasting, he will eat everything that's available, because the cravings increase in intermittent fasting. Why? Because you are fasting, right? So we need to understand the right way, guys. We are not saying intermittent fasting is bad, but it is important to know how in a proper way one can do intermittent fasting. You cannot be eating junk, you cannot be fasting and then again eating like a bag of chips and whatnot in your eating interval, right?
Yeah.
So this again is a very important thing, that you need to understand how and what and quantity you need to eat, right? Because
Yeah.
automatically, as Nidhi said, that insulin resistance is also one of the cause of PCOS, which just generally happens. It's a type of an inflammation, right? After all. So when it comes to such type of diets, your sugar levels are not going to be controlled, guys. What I suggest is the fastings are always going to be high, right? Why? Because you're fasting a long time, everything that you are eating is going to get converted to fat the next morning when you are eating a lot many things at a time. So understanding intermittent fasting, I hope Nidhi also agrees to this. You should know the right way to do intermittent fasting, because
Yeah.
people really don't know how to do proper intermittent fasting. Yeah.
And I think thanks for that, and you see, it makes sense. Another thing which I said, that coming back to the research part of the fasting, helping with the insulin resistance, it sort of helps you control your sugar levels. What is important is how you. So how does fasting help? Let's understand that. So our body is. Nature has blessed us with the healing system, which works when your stomach is empty. That's
Yeah.
what it is. So if your
Yeah.
stomach is empty, the whole hormones and the all healing process that our body has, the immunity, cells that we have, they sort of start working on your healing process, which is inflammation and all the diseases that are there, the toxic buildup.
Yeah.
In order to release that out, you need to fast. That's the whole
Yeah.
point. Now,
Exactly.
if you are fasting more than the period, as Hanisi said, 16 hours may not work, but what could work, like a simple criteria that works for me, which I practice in a sustainable way, is just keeping a 12 hours of
Yeah.
difference between your dinner and breakfast. That's all you
Exactly.
need to do. So
Exactly.
at least your cravings. So now cravings is a main symptoms in PCOS. So what if you are intermittent fasting and you are
Yes.
craving for sugar? Again, it's not sustainable, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
ultimately, if you're giving a 12-hour break between what you eat and then use the other window to rest, to eat good, as you said, right? Not having a bag of
Yes.
chips, but
Of course.
some
Of
good
course.
foods, and especially
Yes.
in COVID-19 scene when everybody is home eating light, eating lots of salads. Anisa, you can share what's good for intermittent fasting. Probably people can benefit from that.
So whenever we break a fast, it's always recommended to start your first fast with either a glass or a bottle of sabja water and a cinnamon powder. Why? Because there has been a good hour of gap, so your sugar levels might be bouncy. For that, you have to start your day with intermittent fasting. Your cinnamon powder in just a glass of warm water. Quickly, you could start. Again, coming to the meals, make sure we are having we having a good balanced meal. Your breakfast, definitely when you break your fast, the first meal would be your breakfast. Then it could be the dinner, and then it could be when till 6, I think. Nidhi's intermittent fasting does stop till 6 o'clock, is where you just have your last meal of the day, and then you again start fasting. We have to make sure these 3 meals are going to have 5 fingers. That's your carb, your proteins, your carbohydrates, your fats, your vitamins and minerals. So your balanced diet has to be there in your 3 main meals, guys, when you are breaking your intermittent fasting. Yeah. Make sure we are having some good mid meals in between. Could be like a fruit, some nuts, just a glass of coconut water. It could be just a glass of chash, for example, anything. But do not, guys, please follow during intermittent fasting like a very high protein diet, or just one meal, or just one component from the meal, or one nutrient from the meal. That's not how it works. So the complete idea of balanced diet, you have to take part in the intermittent fasting. You have to put in the IF, right? So how we say we have to eat our 3 main meals. In between, we have to eat something or the other, very handy, quick, which you can find, right? So in this entire way, what is going to happen? Your body is going to be happy. Why? Because in that 8 hours of gap, you are replenishing the body's nutrition intake, which is very important for the body to function for PCOS, right? So again, you have to make sure that the balanced diet is followed in that 8 hours of gap that we have, right? This is going to
So,
be
so
very
there is
important.
great. Thanks, Anisi. Some questions we can take related
Yes,
to
yes, there
intermittent
are a
fasting
lot.
and also,
Yes,
before we get to the questions, just to add on what you said, that the whole crux again here is that in the 8-hour window, so even if you're doing a 12-hour fasting and you're eating
yes,
the rest of the remaining time, eat
yes,
clean, eat
yes,
what comes from the nature, and eat
exactly,
which is nutritious. Like if you're having too much of protein, that could be wrong. So balance is
exactly.
important.
Yeah,
Dal, sabzi, roti in all the way. Like it's the
yes,
best food that you can
definitely,
have,
definitely,
right? So
yes,
even
yes,
when from my experience of healing my PCOS, what works is that once you give that 12-hour break, your stomach has been empty for a long time. So you need good things to enter your body. You don't need a cup of chai for that matter.
yes,
When a
definitely, yeah,
lot of people asking questions, I'm addicted to my tea and coffee. Guys, listen, tea and coffee are addictive in nature. Yes.
yes. But
If
do
you
not
are
start
addicted,
your day with that. That's important.
you don't start your day, even if you're
Your
addicted and
day
you
with
want
that.
to get out of
Yes,
it,
yes,
take some time to have the good things first, include that in the middle somewhere, and then have lots of water so that you can eliminate. That's the part where you can,
exactly.
and include herbal teas, right?
Yeah,
Start including herbal teas for the people who are addicted to tea, but start the day right, because that's
yes,
where you're infusing
definitely.
all the
Yes.
energy. right?
So you are not going to
Uh,
start your day with tea, coffee, milk, guys. It's going to increase your acid levels. So make sure you're having a good balanced breakfast, and then probably you could have a immunity tea or a herbal tea with good chai brewed inside. So that way, yeah, you can do that.
so there is somebody who asked, Maha Kapoor, she asked tea or coffee is good. So I just answered that. Can we have buttermilk? So again, we
Yes.
didn't speak a lot, and we probably going to talk about some plant-based diet as well, and we
Yes.
can talk about the buttermilk and yogurt part there. So just hold
Yes.
on to
Hold on,
that.
guys. Yeah.
How can we reduce pimples? So, guys, in this session, what we're speaking with Hanisi is that we are talking about a lifestyle. You're not treating
Yes.
a symptom. So, it's
Hmm.
not a pimple or a abdominal pain. It's all the syndrome, the whole various
Umbrella.
plethora of symptoms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
it will help you.
when you treat PCOS, automatically the entire umbrella symptoms are going to get treated.
Right.
Yeah.
So, going back to what. So I have lean PCOS. Can I have protein powder? So I think, Hanisi, do you want to quickly tell something about how PCOS could be different? And again, if you're talking about a fat diet, how it should be implemented differently for, because in lean PCOS, reducing too much carb is also not great. Like we usually tell people to take a bit less carbs. So do you want to explain something on protein powders?
Okay, coming on protein powders, guys, we need to understand how is your workout. Okay, just taking protein powders simply just to replace your protein or just to substitute your meal protein is not the good way. All right, because I know many people, definitely Nidhi, also you'll also be knowing people who are not having dal, who don't like having protein from food, but they just have a glass of their protein powder and they think that they are getting enough of protein. That's now not how you are supposed to do. When you are taking protein powder, guys, you have to make sure that your workout is really good. Only then it is advisable to take a protein powder, because protein powder also has some amount of calories. The digestibility is really not very quick when it comes to protein powders, because it's going to be keeping you full for a longer time. So you have to understand whether or not is your workout good, whether or not are you doing an intense workout. Only then, guys, you need protein powder, or else please take your protein from your natural sources. You really get good protein from plant sources also. It's not that you don't, you just need to monitor your protein intake. You are not just going to be on a protein shake or a protein powder. However, plant protein is good. I wouldn't suggest plant proteins are bad or they are very harmful for the kidney. But again, you need to make sure, as I told you, workout has to be there. Without workout,
Yeah,
please don't take on
yeah.
protein powders. Yeah.
Because ultimately, if I talk in a very layman language, protein, if you look at the major sources, we think about dal, chole, rajma. These are
Pulses.
the
Yes.
very, very, straight away things that you find in your kitchen. Now, you must have
Yes.
noticed that if you take too much of them, they get very heavy on your gut. You know, you
Yeah,
feel
definitely.
uncomfortable. So
Hmm.
imagine if you're taking a big and you're not eliminating it, your body is not able to absorb the nutrients, the protein that you've taken, it
Yeah,
will turn into
definitely.
toxic later, right? So,
Yeah.
as Hanisi said, you need to have that active lifestyle to include that much protein, or else
Exactly.
have 2 cups, more than one katori of dal, and
Yeah, you
as
can
much
do good to
as
your
much
protein.
natural you can be. I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Hanisi. That was really, really helpful. Lot of people said that they want to know if homeopathy can help to cure PCOS. So, not in line, not so much in line of what we're discussing today. Probably we're already in 5:30. We have 15 minutes to go and a lot of questions to answer. But we are talking about treating PCOS just with the
Naturally.
lifestyle and
Yes.
food. Homeopathy and Ayurveda is something which comes most from the natural herbs, something that you still can look on, but I would not elaborate more on this discussion, probably something for later, but I'll take that as a feedback and keep it for next
Yes.
discussion.
So maybe can we move on
Lot
to
of people,
detox diets?
yeah, so guys, next bunch of questions, another 10 minutes, so we're going to
Yeah.
talk about detox diet, yeah.
Okay, so coming on detox diets, every single girl has become really very addicted, when it comes to having detox diets, like just have fruits or just have vegetables. I'll just have a salad bowl and I'm done with my food, right? I'll just have some
Yeah.
fruits. I'll just start my day with breakfast, may only fruits, and I think I'll lose weight, yeah, because I need to eat clean, right? So detox diets, guys, you have to understand, right? Detox diets, are you really very serious that you are going to follow these diets for even more than a month? I wouldn't follow even for a week. Like, so something which is really not sustainable, please do not follow. How long are you just going to be on your roughage? How long are you just going to be on your fruits, salad bowls, and only liquids? When it comes to detox, it also comes to your liquids, just having liquids. That's it, right? So these types of diet, again, guys, they are flushing off all the nutrients because we are not getting the other components which are important, right? It is a lifestyle change. Lifestyle change includes your nutrition, proper nutrition, replenishment of the body, which is not happening when you're following a detox diet, right? So please, guys, do not get do not get completely attracted by these detox diets for people who are really doing it. That I've lost 20 kgs in a month, I lost this many kgs in 2 months. That's not how it's going to be. When you want to form a lifestyle, as we know, PCOS is a lifestyle disorder. We have to treat a lifestyle and not something that you're just doing something unsustainable diet, which is just going to be happening for something like a week or something, or even just which is not possible, right? So we are going to be following
Yeah. I mean,
detox diets. These fat diets are just going to help you flush off the nutrients and not improve your metabolism improvement is very important to prevent the yo-yo effect. Whatever weight we are losing shouldn't be coming back, but in these types of diet, whatever you are doing, your weight will come back to normal, because when you start eating your ghar ka khana, your regular food, everything comes back to normal. So that's where again your body loses the metabolism, it gets disturbed, again a lot of hormonal issues. So yes, this is all about detox diet. So
yeah.
yes, Nidhi,
So
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that was really great. Detox diet also just want to add on is that what you really eat is the fruit and vegetables. Something that we're talking on detox, let's also talk about the GM diet so that we can cover both.
yes,
So GM
exactly,
diet
yeah,
also is about eating more of fruits. One day you eat banana, second
yeah,
day you eat
vanilla
this
milk,
sort of food.
yeah, yeah,
Now what again, let's go back to what we discussed in the beginning, that there is insulin resistance, there is inflammation, there is nutritional deficiencies, there are mood cravings, there are anger issues. So basically your hormones are screaming out loud for help, and what
yeah,
you do is take away that food which probably might give you all the nutrition it needs. So
yeah,
because you are so messed up and you're like, okay, this is not working for me, this is not working for me, let's do the detox diet. But what really happens is it becomes even worse. The thing is
yeah,
also very, very common is not all of us, since it's a metabolic syndrome, and as you said, metabolism affects,
yeah,
not all of us can absorb raw vegetables. Some of us are actually not able to digest the raw foods. If you now go back and think that am I able to digest all that salad, because in detox is more about salads, more about greens, and too much of it is also bad. Now again, any
yeah.
extreme thing that you start to do, be it keto, be it intermittent, be it detox or GM, मतलब GM है कि तो आप रोटी सब्जी तो भूल जाओ. That is your
Even when it comes to
basic.
high protein, when it even comes to just high protein diet, is when you're
Yeah,
just focusing only on protein as a major source. And when you start
yeah,
eating, and when you're on a high protein diet, that's what I've heard people saying, they're always irritable, they're always craving, they're always tired, they're always sluggish. Why? Because there are no carbs. You are not getting the energy, your body's not getting the glucose to do work. And hence, what happens automatically when you start eating your carbs, as Nidhi just told, your metabolism ruins back, and again you go back to normal, right? So for PCOS, we are not going to be very much loaded with all these types of diets, which are very common these days, guys. So we thought that's the most important topic to get into notice, and for y'all to understand that these are just a temporary solution, which are just going to be losing your weight. But trust me, it's not something that's a lifestyle change. Now, for lifestyle change,
yeah,
as Nidhi said, there has to be a nutrition approach, there has to be a regular exercise, there has to be sufficient balanced diet, as I will be concluding with the balanced diet. so you all will understand properly. So yeah, this is the thing about
Yeah.
fat diets, on how they are ruining this. Because when it comes to PCOS, there was a research done which says, only 70 or almost 73% of women were suffering from vitamin deficiency when they were following all these types of diets. Yeah, of course, you would
Yeah.
have any nutrient deficiency because you are not following, you're not those screaming hormones are actually wanting food, are actually wanting nutrition, and not something like a
Yeah.
fat-free diet or a no protein or a complete high protein diet. Your hormones will not function that way. Your hormones are the very
Yeah.
important part of your body which functions you. So you have to understand we are following a proper balanced diet, which we would come into picture like very soon. So yeah,
Yeah.
Nidhi, would you like to close the fat diet topic with
Yeah,
something?
yeah. So ultimately, we covered like intermittent fasting. We spoke about keto. We spoke about high protein, GM diet, the detox diet, and there are various others. There's paleo where
Yes.
you have the
Only
what do you call
nature-based
it?
diets. The exact, again, it
Caveman's
comes over
diet.
very
Yeah,
raw.
the
Yeah.
caveman diet where it says that you need to include take out all the processed food and eat as much natural as
Yes.
you can.
Yeah.
Now, in all the diets that we discussed, what we understood is that either they are very extreme, they want you to focus on one element, they either one is talking more on the protein part, eating only high fat foods, and not talking about portion control, which is also very important.
Yeah.
No, somebody's talking about taking out carbs altogether. So where do you get your glucose from? Where will
Where
your
would you
brain
get your,
function? Right.
yeah, your cells need
Right.
glucose to
So
function, darlings, if you all are
ultimately,
not, yeah.
so ultimately, what we understand now is that if you are pursuing any of this, you should be only doing with under the instruction of a health practitioner. If you have
Yes.
some immediate, what do you call objectives? Say you're getting married, so people
Yeah.
want to lose that weight, but they have PCOS. How to do that? So take help from health practitioner if it's very necessary to do that diet, but
Yeah.
don't make it a sustainable thing that aage ke sare saal I will follow this. That's not possible, and that's not
Yeah.
how it flows because PCOS can come back. Now coming back to what we were saying, that we are going to talk about the lifestyle and the balance part. There are also so a lot of you are that if buttermilk is okay, if gluten is okay, if this is the dairy is okay. Now we're talking about more of a lifestyle here where
Yeah.
there is veganism or let's say plant-based. So
Yeah.
veganism is a very broad term where you would talk about even you can't use the leather product. So let's not talk about veganism. Let's talk about plant-based foods which can help you, and it has shown a lot of effects. Like as per research, the cow's milk, it has casein and the protein levels these days, the way the cows are rendered, the way the milk is produced, it is unethical, first of all, and second, your body cannot digest the hormones, right? So
Exactly.
plant-based
Yeah.
so plant-based
So,
lifestyle as such is really great. I mean, do you want to talk about plant-based diet yourself, Anisi?
so when I talk about milk, I would just like to highlight this point. Sorry to interrupt you, Nidhi. But again, when it comes to milk, okay, I always make people understand this. Milk is produced by cow for calf. Like how a breast milk of mom could be just taken by his or her kid. The same way, the cow is producing milk for her calf and not for humans. So we are drinking milk which is not meant for us, but it is meant for her baby. Yeah. So when it is taken, or when do we consume that milk, automatically it is becoming quite heavy for the body, which is when people suffer from lactose intolerance. Yeah. So we have to understand that milk products are not meant for us. Veganism is a lifestyle, guys, which is really proven very helpful for PCOS. When it comes to PCOS is again a hormonal disorder. When we have milk products, we are injecting really tons and tons of antibiotics and hormones, which is what I believe. The milk that it's available, it's not something that is really safe. I do not consider that milk as safe, right? However, that milk would be, right? So we have to understand that milk is something which contains a lot of hormones, a lot of antibiotics while processing, because nowadays cows really do not produce so much of milk. They are injected with lots and lots of antibiotics so that they produce more milk. Okay, that milk is being taken inside. So I myself have been a person who had a lot of acne issues, right? So when I had that much of acne issues, I was not PCOS. I checked everything and I've been leading a good lifestyle all my life, right? So now what
Yeah.
came into picture was milk. So automatically I had to completely stop milk so that mom, no, my hormones get balanced, my skin looks good. So that is when we have to understand, guys. Veganism is again a very good lifestyle which could be adopted, right? So
Yeah.
it is a point of suggestion from our point of view. We are not making anything very obvious that vegan is completely milk is bad, completely gluten is bad, but it is a type of a lifestyle which you can take it. It's not something which we are forcing on or bogging on that you have to do it. It's something that you
So,
can do it. Yeah.
sorry, cutting you there. There are some questions which probably I can address very quickly, and what you said as well, that how to know your body is lactose tolerant or not. Is buttermilk okay? Somebody also keep asking me, I'll include it here, that is low fat okay? Is skimmed milk okay? If lactose free is okay? So let's just understand one thing, that milk, even if it's lactose free, even if it's skimmed, even it's toned, it is fat free, low fat,
It's
dahi,
processed.
butter, like everything will have that casein level and hormone. So that is
Yeah.
not getting. And second thing that you have to understand is that it causes inflammation. You might,
Yes.
and inflammation means that your body might fight it. You can see it as a way of infection, allergy, hives. Like in my case, what happened was that whenever I used to have milk, I used to start getting these small bumps on my arms, right? And I
Oh.
never understood that for many years, unless
Hmm.
like one time that I stopped having milk and it worked like magic. And
Magic. Yeah.
inflammation, yeah. So people asking what, how do you know inflammation? Basically, you have to start listening to your body. Are you
Exactly.
feeling bloated
Yeah.
after having milk? Do you have
Yeah.
to rush to the bathroom
Yeah.
as soon as you have milk? So that means your body is not accepting it. It's trying
Accepting
to
milk.
eliminate it. The way
When
you
you
get
have too much of
acne.
acne, yeah, definitely. You need to
Yeah.
understand your body. You need to listen to your body, what is suiting you and which is not suiting you. That is important. And after all, Nidhi, all these milk, if that's your low fat, your 5% fat milk, only skim milk, this is all processed at the end, right? Then you are getting it.
Yeah.
You're not just getting it without process.
Yeah,
Yeah.
going back to the next issue, we have another 5 to 6 minutes to conclude, and I want to take 2, 3 minutes to answer questions, and then we talk about balanced diet and sort of
Yeah.
looking at what the lifestyle is going to be, the good lifestyle. Is diabetes connected to PCOS? Hanisi, do you want to answer that?
Okay. So, so as I told you, the hormonal disturbances that is usually causing, right? So your androgen levels are increasing. Now insulin resistance is leading to androgen increase of androgen. Are you able to hear me well, Nidhi?
You're breaking in between a bit.
Yeah, are you able to hear me well, Nidhi?
Yeah, yeah, you're fine.
Hello, are you able to hear me well?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So now when it comes to insulin resistance is a factor. It is the cause of PCOS, which leads to increase of androgen, male hormone, which is again a very hormonal disturbance in the body when it comes to PCOS. So yes, diabetes or insulin resistance can be the cause of PCOS as well, and hence your lifestyle change is going to be very important. Your fasting, as we just discussed about intermittent fasting. So your lifestyle, your eating habit now comes into picture, which is important.
Yeah, so ultimately, like diabetes, and another thing is whatever autoimmune diseases, like even insulin dependent diabetes, or say arthritis or
Yeah.
PCOS in general, which are autoimmune diseases, your body is fighting inflammation and all sorts of these diseases. If you are not controlling it right now, and you're ignoring it, then you can think about many other diseases that can happen, right? Because
Yeah.
there is something wrong in your body, you're ignoring it, and obviously it could lead to diabetes and their harsh word like cancer. That yes, if you ignore them for years, you don't know what happens, right? So let's
Yeah.
not get into the fact that what happens, but yes, you need to, once you know it, let's not ignore, but start fighting it, and it's
Yes.
possible to reverse it naturally.
Yes, definitely.
Next question is that
Sugars.
if I eat gluten-free products, I think my body is getting used to it. So will I have to continue this for my entire life? Because even if I eat normal products like normal wheat atta, my stomach hurts. This is my favorite question, but probably I can take it, and Hanisi, you can add
Yeah,
here because
definitely. Yeah.
uh, um, so what happens with gluten is when you are, and something that we need to understand, that we've had gluten for all our lives. Like atta roti is what you have, right?
Yeah.
Now your
Yeah.
body, when it is stressed and you have hormonal imbalance, it is difficult for your body to digest gluten, right? So whole wheat is not bad, right? But the condition that you are in, it's causing inflammation, the bloating that you feel, your body is not digesting because of the bad lifestyle that you have. If you have a sedentary lifestyle, you will not be able to digest it. Our
Yeah,
parents
definitely.
used to digest it because they had an active lifestyle, right? It's
Yeah.
as simple as that. Now, when you start reducing the gluten, your body starts to heal. The best way to introduce that wheat is, in my opinion, what works is after some time when you feel that your symptoms have started to reverse, you're coming back to normal, you have reversed your PCOS, then start including and see how you feel. If your body starts rejecting it again, that means your body is not liking it. And obviously there are a lot of tests to see if you're gluten intolerant. Definitely you can go for that.
Yeah.
Usually in PCOS, as per research, more than 50% of women are gluten intolerant, and it's only because we have developed that sort of lifestyle which is causing this. So it's not that you were born with it. Probably you had this because of your lifestyle, and over the time probably you can accept that wheat, or you have to start listening to your body, see if it,
Yes.
probably introduce it once a week and see how it feels. If you're really craving for it, have it sometimes. That's my
Yes.
two piece for it. Anisi, you can add in.
So when it comes to gluten, as you rightly said, our ancestors have been having gluten all their life. And why didn't they suffer from what problem we are suffering right now? It's just because of the lifestyle, right? So we have
Yeah.
to understand the body. And my piece of information is always do not restrict your body to only one thing. You know, do not say that no, I cannot have gluten. No, I cannot have milk. No, I cannot have paneer. Do make your body habituated to everything. That's what is the exact piece of conclusion. Do not just feel, you should know how to introduce gluten. As Nidhi rightly said, once your PCOS is cured naturally, try listening to your body, try giving your body breaks, learn which food I'm going to introduce and when and how I'm going to introduce. Yeah. So yes, Nidhi, you have answered it really quite well. This was thing that I wanted to give is what you need to make your body used to it, right? So it's very important that you have everything. You have everything until unless you are really suffering from a complete gluten insensitivity, then you avoid gluten-free foods. But you have to introduce the gluten, you have to introduce the gluten products step by step and listen to your body, then how well is your body taking it. Yeah.
Thanks, Anisi. So I think we are almost at the end. There are last few 4 to 5 minutes I want to use because our clock is ticking and we just have 1 hour for this and we're
Yes.
almost like 5 minutes. We wanted to talk about balanced diet, but before I give back to Hanisi, I just want to say that whatever diets we spoke about, again, they were very diet specific, the food specific. It doesn't
Yeah.
include any element of how much exercise you need to do, or there is no portion control, how you cook your food. But the good thing that what we have been blessed as part of India is Ayurveda, which I strongly believe in. Ayurveda, though, talks about having milk, though, deleting the milk part for me. I feel that Ayurveda talks about how much food you need to eat, when to eat, how, even the fasting element before it got, lot of attraction from the West when they started calling it intermittent fasting. The fasting was introduced by Ayurveda way before. In our Vedas also it's written. So it's the only lifestyle which tells you how to eat, how to cook your food, how to do exercise, which is yoga. It's sort of wholesome in nature. It
Yeah.
tells you what to eat, how much to eat, what exercise you need to do, and what, include lots of plant-based diet, as we call it,
Yes.
as veganism these days, right?
Which is very
Uh,
important for PCOS. Yeah.
it's been there around us for years to come. Like before we were born, our ancestors, like our dadis, nanis, they used to follow Ayurveda and people still do it. So if you
Yeah.
think about that and you think about the modern diets, it sort of comes together like this has always been there and we've been ignoring and mostly focusing on what modern diet has to say. So think about the lifestyle, and probably Anisi will talk about the balance, which I just indicated, and then we can conclude.
Yeah. So again, I would compare the body with a car, right? So as your car needs fuel to run, right? If there is no fuel, automatically your body, if you make your body, if you make your car run in the reserve fuel, for example, as we follow these fad diets and we are just making our body run through only one component, the same way, if the car is moved on a reserve fuel, automatically we have to push the car is definitely not going to run very smoothly, right? The same way is your body. Your body is a car which needs fuel to function, guys. You cannot be putting your body on a reserve mode and just be telling body, kicking the body to just be on fats, kicking the body to just be on proteins, kicking the body to just be on your fruits and vegetables. Your body is not going to run smoothly. Automatically, the functioning fails, the functioning affects. Hence, balanced diet is going to be very important, which is a very important funda which every adult, every teenager, adolescent has to be taught young, so that these diseases do not occur very often, which is what teenage girls are suffering from because of the lifestyle, right? So we have to understand the balanced diet. Your balanced diet is your 5 fingers. So these 5 fingers form your fist, which is your balanced diet, which is your carbs, your proteins, your fats, which are your macronutrients, which are required in a good amount of the body to function, and your vitamins and your minerals, which although are called micro, required in a very small quantity, but these are important for several other functions so that these first 3 fingers function. So if you just have these three and do not have these two, again your body is going to get affected. Now, if you're just having a macronutrients, which we are doing in a detox diet, where we are just having our fruits, vegetables, and getting the vitamins and minerals, and we are not having these two, automatically the functioning of these three gets affected. So we have to keep in mind your 3 main meals have to be this fist. It has to be a balance. Your hormones are crying, as I told you repeatedly, that your hormones are crying for nutrition for the body to function well. Understand? Any such type of the diets which is going to restrict your body to only one component is forcing your body to move very smoothly, but your body is not going to work smoothly. Your body is just, you are pushing your body forcefully, and your body is crying back that please give me food to function properly, the same way as the car which I compared. So you have to make
So,
sure, guys. Yeah.
sorry,
So
Hanisi, I'm
it's,
just time
yeah,
bound,
yeah.
here. So, can we give a quick example of what a balanced diet from a ghar ka khana could be before, like, we just have another 2-3 minutes. So, if you're talking about a balanced diet and you're at home, COVID-19 situation, we don't have seeds, we don't have, all the gluten-free products as well. So,
Yes.
how to make use of it? Probably I can also add in later, but you can, start.
So when it comes to balanced diet, I'll give you some quick examples of how we can make your plate a balanced plate. As I told you, it necessarily not be a sabji, roti, dal, salad. Okay, it could be anything that makes a balanced plate. For example, even just for example, a paneer burji or egg burji with toast is definitely forming a balanced diet. So a toast is like a bread, a gluten-free bread, or your normal bread is giving you carbs. Your protein, your cottage cheese or your tofu is giving you protein. Your vegetables that you are putting in your egg burji or your paneer burji is giving you vitamins and minerals. Your vegetables. So this is the way how we are going to make sure that we are ticking all the 5 fingers when we are making a balanced plate. For example, if you are gluten-free, someone who's not preferring gluten, lunch could just simply be a bajri, jowari, or a nachni or a multigrain roti. For example, the bhakri that we generally have. You could inculcate with that a good proper bowl of vegetable, which is forming your fiber portion, a good bowl of your dal or your sprouts or your pulses, which is ticking off your protein quota, and some salad or curd to go along with, which is again a good probiotic and giving you other vitamins and minerals, and your salad is giving you your whites and your minerals, right? So this is the way, guys, how we form a proper, proper protein, a proper meal. Breakfast may, again, something like an oats
But
porridge.
this is something which has dairy, right? And we're talking about not having dairy. So even if you are like, so we're talking about mostly on a PCOS level. So we're not talking about having too much of dairy. So in that sense, instead of what works best to include probiotics is having kanji, fermented foods, having lots of live
Yes.
foods, like you can make your sauerkraut, like just making fermented beetroots, and you just
Yeah,
need some namak
kombucha.
and some vegetables to make that. So that's probiotics that you can have. So we are not talking about having too much dairy with PCOS. We're trying to eliminate it in that sense, Hanisi, because you work with different people.
Yes,
So
yes,
just
yes,
bringing on the point that you're
yes.
talking
So
about
even for
PCOS, where you're
example,
not
like
talking.
like your kefir, your kombucha, your
Yeah.
sauerkrauts, as you told me, you could just store it in your fridge and you could just have like a pickle, just like a
Yeah.
sour beetroot or something, fermented beetroots. Yeah, they
Yeah.
work very
And
wonders. Yeah.
all in all, last 2 minutes we have what Hanisi and I are trying to say here is that and if you're going for a salad, say you want to have just salad for a meal, have that, but make the next meal a wholesome. So probably you can have dal sabzi roti. Of how I do my routine these days is that we are too much sedentary, we're not moving a lot. So I keep one meal heavy. The breakfast is like the perfect thing that, have lots of smoothies and light, chilas or whatever I love. And one next meal could be a light meal. You can have big bowl of salad, which again is nutritious, and you don't need fancy vegetables. You can have like mooli, gajar, cucumbers, tomatoes, whatever you can lay your hands on right now. So the idea is getting your veggies, getting normal dal as a protein or a chole as a protein, rajma as a protein, and have your roti. And see, listen to your body. If you feel bloated, that means you're overdoing it. You're not having enough movement. So according to your movement, have your food. Don't eliminate everything. Don't be extreme. Have everything, but take
Exactly.
control of your
Yes.
portion. Take control of your oil, the way you cook. It's
Cook.
again a wholesome approach. As we spoke about Ayurveda, how you control your cravings is what you eat in your meal. So
Meal.
ऐसा नहीं है कि
Yes.
जो आपने खाया उसके बाद आपको randomly craving हो रही है. It's because of that insulin work going on and you were craving for it. So last few
Yes.
words, and any message that you want to give to our community. It's been a real pleasure to have you talk, and probably
Okay.
in future we can do more such talks. But
Yes. Yes.
thank you so much for coming in and share your last message with our community.
So thank you so much, Nidhi, for getting in, and it's really very good to be launching the first PCOS online community, which is really very good, and we have to continue spreading this awareness because PCOS is growing every single day. As I and Nidhi have constantly be focusing on, please balance your meals, know what you're eating, know what exactly is good for you, what exactly is bad for you, monitor your body, learn your body, love your body. Only then the body is going to heal, only then the body is going to give you answers. And follow a good balanced diet. Do not follow any type of fat diets under any health practitioner or a nutritionist. So yes, we have to fight towards this PCOS and hope we really take this a good holistic approach, which is going to be extremely important. Thank you, Nidhi, for throwing light on veganism, which is really very close to my heart. That's something that's really been affecting me. So, I can totally correlate with it. And yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed the session too. Any queries, y'all can DM both of us or either of us. We'll be always free to answer
Okay,
you. Yeah.
sorry cutting you there. Last 17 seconds left. So thank you guys for joining in. Any questions, please reach out to any of us.
Yes.
And this live video, I'm going to save it soon on my YouTube so you can have a look.